Every Christmas Eve, the movie Tre Nøtter til Cinderella is shown on one of the national TV channels in Norway. And I love this movie, so I wanted to analyze the clothes worn in the movie. Based on the colors of the king and queen's clothes in this scene, I would guess that the movie takes place sometime in the 16th century. However, I don't think the movie is going for a precise time period. In addition, there is some real heavy 1970s flair to some of the outfits. However, I'm not going to analyze the outfits based on their historical accuracy, but rather on how they contribute to telling the story. But I wanted to preface that I have only watched the Norwegian dubbed version of this movie, and I'm neither Czech nor German, so I might have missed some of the story's context. So if there's something I missed due to this, I would highly appreciate it if you would let me know. When the royal court comes to visit the estate, Cinderella's stepsister Dora is dressed in blue. This is a color we learn to associate with the royal family, and by dressing in the royal family's color, Dora is trying to make a good impression and make them like her. She's also wearing a white veil, possibly in an attempt to look like a bride. At the ball, Dora is dressed in red, white and gold. And Dora wearing gold can be viewed as her trying to show off her wealth. Her wearing red can be interpreted as a symbol for numerous amounts of things, for instance, love and lust, as the color red is typically associated with these attributes. However, Dora might have chosen to wear red instead of blue, as the royal family's color is blue. Thus, she would perhaps assume that many other girls would also wear blue to the ball. Hence, she wanted to stand out from the blue crowd by wearing red. This version of the tale of Cinderella only includes one stepsister, as opposed to many other versions where she has two stepsisters. This gives Dora less to do in this movie, as the stepsisters bickering back and forth usually stands for a lot of the screen time the stepsisters have. And this is my theory why the movie introduces a rival to Dora at the ball, to give Dora someone to play off on. And to illustrate this point, this girl is dressed kind of similar to how Dora is dressed at the ball, with her big red sleeves and the kind of gold-ish skirt they're wearing. However, these two women are set up as contrasts, and the movie uses Dora's rival to express some fat-shaming and misogynistic views. Firstly, the rival's size is used as a source of comedy in the movie, and when Dora is viewed as elegant and dignified, the other girl is viewed as less dignified due to her size. Furthermore, the rival is also portrayed as more masculine, which is apparent from the way that she is the lead when she dances with a man. And this is also used as a source of comedy, thus the movie shames her for this too. And I just wanted to point out how the movie is wrong for using the size of someone's body, or whether or not they're masculine, as a source of comedy. I couldn't come up with much to say about the stepmother's clothes. However, I did want to comment on the outfit she wears to the ball. And I have to say that I think her bat hat is epic. And I love how it's revealed to the audience by us first seeing it in the mirror and then fully revealing the outfit as the camera zooms out. And by wearing the hat, the stepmother makes herself take up more space, and this is in accordance with her motivations, which is to make herself more noticeable. In the first outfit we see the prince wearing, he is dressed in white, blue and red. And the royal family is continuously dressed in white, blue and gold in this movie, thus we can assume that these are the royal family's colors. However, the prince is also wearing some red, showing how he's different from his parents and that he's rebelling against them by not taking his education and responsibilities seriously. And these colors make the prince stand out from the forest and it doesn't seem like he fits in there at all. Cinderella, on the other hand, is dressed in earth tones in this scene, like she is for a lot of her scenes. This illustrates how she's very in touch with nature while he isn't. And the differences in Cinderella and the prince's outfits demonstrate their dissimilarities and how they at this point in the story aren't compatible with each other. The next time we see the prince, he is dressed in white, blue and gold. And as previously stated, these colors are the royal family's colors, which this outfit helps to establish. Furthermore, in this scene, the king is telling the prince that he has to marry someone and take responsibilities for his duties as a prince. The prince, on the other hand, is begging the king not to force him to get married yet. Hence, the prince wearing their royal colors might be viewed as a ploy from the prince to convince the king that he is responsible and doesn't have to marry to fulfill his duties. After this, we see the prince in a hunting outfit. And there is not a lot to say about this outfit other than the fact that it establishes that he is a skilled hunter. At the ball, the prince is wearing the royal family's colors, white and blue. And this can be perceived as him showing commitment to his responsibilities as a prince. And he's demonstrating his compliance with his father's wishes, which is to find himself a wife. Hence, he's wearing the family's color. Though the outfit the prince wears in this scene doesn't match Cinderella's ball gown, it does look very similar to Cinderella's wedding dress, and it might be interpreted as the prince already being in love with Cinderella and feeling ready to marry her in this scene. For most of the movie, Cinderella is dressed in a brown dress and apron, which are obviously working clothes based on their state of distress. Her not wearing loud or glaring garments, such as her stepmother and sister, also relates how Cinderella isn't as materialistic as they are. Moreover, it communicates how Cinderella is viewed by her family. They don't view her as more than dirt, and she is certainly not a part of the family who it would be worth spending any money on. This is further emphasized by the contrast to the stepmother spending a lot of money on a new gown for Dora when they are invited to the royal ball, even though she probably already has a gown fit for a ball. The brown and neutral colors of Cinderella's clothes also illustrate how Cinderella is connected to nature as she is dressed in earth tones. What's more, she wears a sheepskin to keep warm when going outside. And this further strengthens Cinderella's special connection with nature and animals, as Cinderella seemingly gets better on with animals than with humans. And this is demonstrated by her being able to communicate with the animals, and them helping her out many times during the movie. Additionally, when Cinderella wears the outfit with the sheepskin during her first interaction with the prince in the forest, the clothes might also symbolize the prince's perception of her, because the prince assumes that she's a small child, weak and harmless, just like a sheep. Nevertheless, he soon learns that she's cunning and fully capable of making a fool out of him. Hence, she's a wolf in sheep's clothing. In this version of the tale of Cinderella, Cinderella is given 3 hazelnuts as a gift. From these 3 hazelnuts, Cinderella is given 3 outfits, and the first of these outfits is a hunting outfit. And dressed in this, Cinderella joins the prince's hunting party. So first off, Cinderella fits right in with the other hunters in this outfit. For instance, she is dressed in the same color scheme and silhouette as the others, and this can be viewed as symbolizing how she is a good hunter. She also has a feather in her hat, almost acting as a premonition that she will be the only one talented enough to shoot down the eagle. And this interaction with the prince makes him further notice Cinderella. And now Cinderella has not only teased him and awoken an interest, but she has also impressed him with her talents, even though he does not yet know that the girl from the forest and the strange hunter are both Cinderella. However, Cinderella is disguised as a man in this scene, probably making it harder for the prince to recognize her. Nevertheless, the disguise was most likely necessary, as a woman probably would not be allowed to join the prince's hunting party at this time and period due to gender discrimination. By the second hazelnut, Cinderella is gifted a ball gown, which she wears to the royal ball. This gown is light pink, though Cinderella is not the only one dressed in pink at the ball. The two other people dressed in pink, as far as I could tell, only appear in the background. Thus, Cinderella stands out from the rest of the ball goers. Cinderella wearing pink can be interpreted as a reflection of her growing crush on the prince. The prince, on the other hand, is dressed in white. As earlier stated, that might further convey how the prince at this point is in love with Cinderella and wants to marry her, while Cinderella is more apprehensive and not ready to marry the prince just yet. This is also expressed by Cinderella giving the prince a puzzle to find out who she is. Cinderella's billowing sleeves and the cape on her dress might also be a reference to birds. Additionally, there are many bird motifs on Cinderella's gown. One can be seen on her chest and another at the back of her cape. Again, Cinderella is associated with animals and nature, and moreover it might also symbolize how Cinderella longs to be free as a bird and free from the oppression of her stepfamily. And the connection to the birds is also especially meaningful with regards to this dress, and this comes from the fact that the doves were the ones that helped Cinderella actually get to the ball by doing the work of the stepmother's punishment. Furthermore, the bird on Cinderella's cape is mirroring the bird on the prince's cape, and once again they're matching. After escaping from the ball, Cinderella runs back to the estate. There she is stripped of her ball gown by her stepmother and sister, and locked in her room tied to a chair. Following this, Cinderella's stepmother tries to trick the prince into marrying Dora by dressing her up as Cinderella. However, they don't manage to trick the prince, and Cinderella manages to escape. She then gets the final dress from the hazelnut, which is a wedding dress. And now the prince is finally able to figure out Cinderella's riddle and her identity. And now he fully accepts her for who she is, and he has also learned to give her the autonomy to choose whether or not she wants to marry him. And she chooses to accept his proposal. And Cinderella's readiness to marry the prince is reflected in the fact that she is wearing a wedding dress. This is a white and silver outfit with blue details, hence Cinderella and the prince are now matching, and they are now on the same wavelength. And once again the outfit connects Cinderella to nature, as she and the prince are almost camouflaged in their white outfits as they ride through the snow-clad landscape. And as a closing note, I would just like to mention how beautiful Cinderella's wedding dress is and how much I love it.